Hello everyone and welcome to another video. It's been a little while since I've done a pregnancy related update. I actually really wanted to do weekly updates to begin with when I first got pregnant. The problem with the weekly updates is that it was really hard to keep up with them when I was feeling really bad to begin with in the first 12 weeks, just because I felt so terrible. And I feel like the first 12 weeks were the most significant in terms of like things that change with the baby. Things like slow down a little bit once you get past your first 12, 14, maybe even 15 weeks. Less and less happens each week, although the baby continues to grow and get sort of bigger and chubbier. Once his or her like organs and main things are all like formed, it's all about just putting on fat and getting bigger and all those sorts of things to be ready for birth. So I feel like it was harder to do weekly updates because I didn't want them to feel like they were pointless, and the weeks started to sort of just disappear. I work full time, so it's like before I know it, a week is done. All that rubbish. Anyway, but I did want to do some of the more significant milestones. So we just recently had our 20-week scan, and so we know the gender, which is really exciting, which I'm going to tell you at the end of this video. So if you want to know, obviously you can skip, but if you're interested in the journey up to finding out, then watch this video and then you can find out whether it's a boy or a girl at the end. Also, if you want to join in with the fun, and you want to have a look at what the old midwives' tales said the gender would be of this baby, and see if it matches up with actually what the baby is, then I'll put a little card up here with the last video, I think it was the last video I uploaded, with the old midwives' tales, because I just thought it was old midwives, I keep saying that, the old wives' tales, because I thought it was a good bit of fun to do. I actually did it the morning of the scan, so yeah. So I'm currently at just a little bit over 20 weeks, but I want to go back to the 20-week scan and I want to update you on how I am feeling and all those bits and bobs. So currently, one of the biggest symptoms I have is that I'm always out of breath. Also, whenever I do anything, like we went for a walk yesterday and we went for another walk today, like not huge walks, but like to go and get some fitness in, I ache. I pulled a groin muscle, so it's fabulous being pregnant. And I'm just starting to feel bigger. If you want to see like my weekly bump dates, then go onto my Instagram, it's linked down below. That has, every single week I'll put a picture up, along with some other bits and bobs that go in there, but every week I put a picture up with baby bump. I kind of wish I'd done like an everyday thing so you could literally see, but obviously there's not such a big change every day. But yeah, I feel like if you go back to the one that was like my 16th or 17th week post, and then you go to, I think the latest one I've done is 22 weeks. Oh my god, there's such a big difference. Like, I look pregnant finally, I think. What does my bump book say? It's really interesting reading through this book, by the way. I haven't filled in, there's a couple, I'm a bit behind on a couple of weeks actually. I'm going to sit down and fill it in after I film this video. But it's really interesting going through the weeks. This goes from week 12, so it missed out some of the worst symptoms, but it's funny to see like, oh, I was so tired and I just felt so rubbish, and then like how I first felt when I found out, and it's such a nice thing to have. I would recommend getting a book if you can that follows like from week 4 or 5 or 6 or whatever, whenever like you find out. Because, and I know it's really early and obviously it's like not the safe time, or maybe even just write those symptoms down or something somewhere. There's notes in this book, you could write them down. But I think that those few weeks at the beginning are just the worst, and you don't realise how bad they are until you come through out of it and you start to feel way more normal. Like, I can put up with being out of breath and feeling bigger and waddling around for the pure fact that I don't feel sick anymore. So week 20 of my book says that the baby is about the size of a pomegranate. The baby feels bigger than that, but it is a significant amount, and the reason the baby feels bigger is because obviously there's fluid and a placenta and other things in there. I'm feeling their kicks inside me, like actually I could probably imagine that the baby is about the size of a pomegranate, not like a giant watermelon yet. Anyway, baby is about 26 centimetres and about 303 grams, which is like amazing that you can go and weigh that on the scales and be like, that's what my baby is. Like, you could physically see that or hold that, and I just think it's so cool, because going from what the baby was at the beginning, or even at week 12, which was an apricot, to, and well, 14 grams, so 303 grams in 8 weeks. It's just crazy. So yeah, so it says, what has changed with baby? Your baby's skin now shows the greasy coating which will prevent it in the womb. He or she will also have the fine hair all over the body, but this usually disappears before birth. What has changed with mummy? Congratulations, you have reached the halfway point in your pregnancy. You may find you need to rest more as the weeks go by and limit the amount of time you are on your feet. If possible, take short, frequent breaks from activity and enjoy a well-deserved rest. Sorry, I just saw something else in here. That's the biggest thing I've struggled with, I think, with pregnancy, which is silly, and I'm so grateful that this is the biggest thing, is that I didn't realise how much I enjoyed being active before pregnancy. And obviously there are some people that have super active pregnancies. I wasn't fit. Here's the difference. I wasn't fit. I wasn't having, like, I was actually in the worst physical state I had been, because it had been Christmas and all that sort of stuff. Like, I just wasn't in good shape when I got pregnant, which was a bit difficult to, like, then deal with and be like, oh, well, I can't really do a great deal about it, because it's really hard to start, like, exercising once you get pregnant. So yeah, so I wasn't that fit, but there were a lot of things I did to stay active, like walking, and I love cleaning the house. I love getting into it, but it's like the second you do too much, something aches, or you've got to lie down for a bit, or you've got to have a sleep because you're just tired. Having said that, if that's the worst thing, it's fine, but I've noticed now I'm starting to have to readjust the way I sit down and stand up, and I can't just pull myself up without kind of having to roll on my side a bit to do it. And like, when people used to say like they used to get stuck in bed when they were pregnant, I used to think it was quite funny, but now I'm only like just past the 20-week mark, and I've still got quite a way to go in the grand scheme of things, and I'm already struggling. So yeah, I completely get it now. But yeah, other than that, symptoms I felt, like heartburn has been a real thing, like a real thing. Most days. I think that's partly down to some of my diet, and when I choose to eat, like if I'm like half leaning on the sofa and I'm eating a biscuit, then I'm going to get heartburn or acid reflux, whatever the difference is. That's been a real thing. Bloating at the end of the night, because there's just less room for everything, so I just feel really bloated at the end of the night, and just generally aches and pains. I've got backache right at this second as we're talking. My back has been struggling. I've always had not always, but in my adult life I've always had like a bit of bad posture, which means I have a bad back and aches and pains, but pregnancy like just moves everything around, so my back's been struggling. But other than that, like, my appetite is normal. I'd been craving things like intensely, but nothing weird, just like I need, I don't know, waffles right now, or pancakes, or a McFlurry ice cream, which I think has been a constant craving throughout. So I get intense cravings for things. Nothing weird that I didn't crave before pregnancy. Like, one of my favourite things that I ate before pregnancy was sweet corn, mashed potato, ketchup and cheese, like all mixed together. It's the best thing in the entire world. So into the scan, which was amazing and exciting, but also we nearly missed it. So, scan story time. The day of the 20-week scan, I took the day off work. I had a couple of days off, and I took that day off as part of a holiday. Like, I know you're allowed to have your appointments for, like, with work in the UK anyway, so, like, without having to take holiday, but I took it as a day of holiday. It wasn't until the afternoon, but I had already taken a couple of days off, and I just thought, wouldn't it be nice to have just another day off, have that day off, relax in the morning, do something with my partner, and then we'd go to the scan. We had a nice lay-in, just a relaxing morning. I didn't want to stress about it. I knew we were going to find out the gender if possible. And also, it's a big day to find out whether your baby, from what they can see on the scan, whether everything is healthy, whether he or she is doing well. So it's a day that I didn't want to feel stressed. So we had a nice lay-in, got up, had some breakfast. I filmed my video, and then we planned, the appointment was at 2:30. So we planned to leave the house at about 1, bearing in mind the place we were going to was about half an hour away from where I live. So not far, but we had to go and do a few things first. So we did a few things. Time disappeared from us a little bit, but we still had enough time to get to the hospital. Didn't realise or think about the fact we were going during visiting hours, in the particular hospital that I was going to does not have enough parking or something. So we got stuck in a parking queue and ended up being about 15 minutes late for our appointment, give or take, due to like many things, including, you know, we didn't leave enough time to park really. It was also busier than we thought. And then we had to get a ticket. We didn't realise we had to get a ticket for the parking. It was just a palaver. So we ran all the way to the appointment, and I was like, I'm so sorry, like grovelling, because I know how bad. I'm never ever late to any appointments ever. And like, just what could be one of the biggest days before baby is born, finding out potentially what the gender of this baby is, you know, and making sure everything is healthy. And we're late by about 15 minutes. So I turned up and the lady said, I don't think we're going to be able to get you in now. You know, you've missed most of your appointment, you are late, and we've put someone else in your spot. And I wanted to cry, but I knew it was my own fault. So we stood there. They got the sonographer that was going to do my thing, and she came over and sort of told us off, which rightly so, and then said, look, sit down and I'll see if I can get you in after. Because I think what they did was they just brought the person forward that was going to go after me because they got there in time or early. So I just kind of took their slot. I was so happy we managed to get in, and then the scan for 20 weeks, I found, I don't want to sound like I'm not interested because I'm so grateful that I'm pregnant. I'm so happy that I got to see the baby again and got to see like some more like up close parts of the body, and obviously see that everything's healthy. But I found that it was slightly less exciting than the 12-week, minus finding out the gender, purely because the baby is bigger, so it's harder to get the whole baby in one shot. I've got a few ultrasound pictures, but it's hard to get the baby in one sort of shot. Plus our baby was asleep and was laying diagonally from the top of the uterus all the way down to the very bottom, like this, hidden. So we didn't really get to see a great deal. You'll see in some of the pictures I've got, I mean, baby looks a bit like a turtle in a couple of them because it was just hard to get the shots. I had to actually go for a walk for 25 minutes so they could get another picture of something. So what they do in a 20-week scan is they just go and check basically every part of the body. We got to see the nose and the mouth, and oh, it was so cute. It was so cute. And that was exciting. And then they show you the feet. If they try and find every body part possible. So baby has 2 feet, 2 hands. They look like the fingers are there. All the organs inside look healthy. The only thing that they couldn't get to start with and panicked me was the heart. Obviously that's scary. The lady said it was fine and she could see like all the valves, but she couldn't get a good picture of it because of the way the baby was laying. So we had to go for a walk and wait for another 25 minutes, and then we got to see the picture of the heart properly, and it actually meant baby had moved, so I got to see like the face like profile a bit better, which was good. I mean, I feel like you can't see a great deal in an ultrasound anyway, but it is really cute to see a little baby moving, or not in our case, because baby was asleep basically the whole time. Amazingly, because I was so panicked beforehand and like running around like a lunatic. I'm surprised I didn't wake baby up, but clearly they're used to my franticness. Anyway, so we actually found out the gender before they finished doing the heart thing, so it was really exciting and then a bit scary and then really exciting again. So yeah, so basically because of the way that baby was laying, it actually meant that they could find out the gender a lot easier. So when they check like the thighs, they don't like to tell you the gender straight away, or they can't always find it straight away, or they don't look for it straight away. And I think part of the reason they don't tell you straight away is because if something was wrong and you got that exciting news and then obviously something was wrong, it would be really hard. And I don't know, maybe that's not the reason, but I feel like that part of the reason is like save it to the end, you know everything's fine, and then you get to find out the news, or you know, whatever. So she checked like the thighs and things, and like the little bum, and so you kind of got a glimpse. Now I know what I was looking for. I knew if it was a boy, you can see a boy very easily. If it's a girl, like I've looked at ultrasounds of girls and it's a little bit harder to tell, but you know, you can still kind of tell. So I knew what I was looking for. So when she did the thigh part, which was quite early on in the ultrasound, I was like, I think I've seen it. I think I know what it is. But I didn't say anything, and I got really excited. My heart was pounding, and then she moved away from that part and sort of like carried on. Anyway, so then 10 minutes later, whatever, she checked most of the other parts and she sort of said, so you said you wanted to see the gender? And we were like, yeah, absolutely, if we can. And she started counting lines. Now for any of you ladies or whatever, or men, whatever, who have looked at ultrasounds or know what you're looking for with babies, with a boy you can generally see the part, and with a girl you can normally see lines. So when she started counting lines, we found out it was a girl baby. And there she is as well, by the way. There's our little girl baby. I've got a better picture of this on my Instagram if you want to have a look. But we were so excited. I didn't care. Okay, honest mum moment here. To say I didn't care what the gender was is a lie. I wouldn't have found out if I really didn't care at all. Or maybe I would have. I'm impatient. I would have loved whatever the baby was. Let's be honest, it's a baby, it's a life. If it's healthy, that's amazing. But I wouldn't lie and say I didn't have a preference. purely because we have a nephew that, I have a few nephews and nieces, but a nephew that we look after every single week, maybe a couple of times a week, so he's like part son to us anyway. So I almost feel like we have a little boy, not by birth but by love, right? And also, like, we knew what we'd be expecting if it was a boy, so it would have been a disappointment. We know how to bring up a boy, we know boys, it would be an amazing journey, but and my partner was really scared of it being a girl, but in like all the best ways, because it's just different, it's a different experience. So like, to find out it was a girl, it's just like, it's so different. A lot of people at my family and my like family-in-law had a preference and wanted it to be a girl, purely because there's lots of boys in our family, and you know, as the father picks the gender, not picks, but decides upon the gender, I bring the X chromosome, he brings the X or the Y, so I don't have a choice in what the baby is in any way. My body doesn't have a choice in what the baby is. So traditionally in my partner's family, they have boys first, so everyone was expecting a boy. So to find out we were having a girl is just like, I still don't feel like it's real. And it's kind of a preference, but it really wasn't. If it was a boy, it wouldn't have mattered to us at all, and actually it would have been more convenient because we had a lot of boy stuff. The other reason why it's so special to me that it's a girl, I guess, is because that some of you might know, some of you might not know. If you followed me from a different channel that I used to have, then maybe you would know, or whatever, but I lost my mum 4 years ago, 5 years, coming up to 5 years ago. And so I don't have a mother-daughter relationship anymore. I have like a mother-in-law, I have a grandma, but I don't have a mother-daughter relationship. And I thought I would just have boys. I really thought I was going to be a mum to boys. And finding out that I have the chance to build my own mother-daughter relationship just like excites me so much. And I get to have that experience, and like, oh, I just can't wait. There are so many things I can't wait for. Again, I want a boy as well. Like, I want to have a boy like in the future, obviously, but I just think I can't wait. I have so many things I want to hand down that my mum passed down to me, and all those sorts of things, like all those little dreams I had in my mind. But yeah, so either way I would have been really happy, but there are a few reasons why it's super special that it's a girl, I guess. Whatever, he or she would have been loved if she was a he. So, and obviously I know there's a very small chance she could still be a he, and I still would love her if she was a he, so whatever. So I'm going to do like a proper baby haul of things. For those of you interested, I'm going to do like a video of like how to have a baby on a budget and all those sorts of things, because a lot of people think that you have to buy everything new and that babies are so expensive, and you know, the world ends when you have a baby, and there are so many ways around not spending a lot on a baby until, like, for at least their first year anyway. So we'll do that in a whole video. I'll show you some of the things that we got, and if we got them for free or cheap, and like best places to go and look if you need to do that or you're on a budget. So let me know if you're interested in that. But let me just quickly show you the outfit that we used to announce to everyone that it was a baby girl. It was all a bit of a rush. I didn't dare buy anything pink or girly to announce it was a girl in case it was a boy. I didn't want to waste clothes, so I didn't want to buy something to announce it before we found out what it was. And I had some boy stuff at home, so if it was a boy we could have used something at home. I kind of still wanted to buy, if it was a boy, something special anyway. So my plan was go and have the scan, go to Asda, because there was something specifically I wanted to get from one of the Asdas, but I went to the wrong one and didn't have the thing I wanted, but it didn't really matter. I just needed to get something to symbolise boy or girl. But basically I had it all in my mind. It was all going to be perfect and wonderful, and then we were late for our appointment, and then we had to walk around for an extra half an hour, and we told some of our close family and friends like the time that the appointment was, so we could tell them afterwards. So they were kind of expecting to find out like not long afterwards. But we also had to get home, and I wanted to take a picture, and I wanted to just enjoy that special moment for us for just like a little bit of time. So it was all a bit of a rush. So the two little things I bought probably wouldn't have been what I would have jumped to. However, they are super cute and super cosy, and she's going to be so warm and lovely. And because she's born in September, sometimes it's warm, sometimes it's colder. So this is a really good in-between outfit. It looks huge because it's 0 to 3, but also this would be ideal going towards the winter because of the material. So it's like this super cute. Again, I thought I wasn't going to be somebody who would go mega pink. And then I picked this up to announce to everyone what the baby was. So I mean, it's a bit washed out. So yeah, it's this cute little, I don't know if it's a cat, I think it's a cat. Or is it a bunny? Because the feet are like bunnies and the This bit looks like a cat, but it's a cute little bunny cat with little feet, which will keep her warm. And it's like a slightly thicker material, so it will be fine when it's a little bit cooler. Obviously long sleeves with little flowers and things on it. And this little rabbit, because I wasn't sure exactly how I was going to announce it, so I got this little rabbit too. Fun fact, one of my first little favourite toys was a little bunny that I called Loopy, which is my nickname. I don't have it anymore because I lost a lot of stuff with moving and stuff as a kid and all those sorts of things, so I don't have it anymore because I would have passed it down otherwise, but did buy her own special little bunny. So yeah, that's how we announced to everyone. Yeah, I hope you like this. I know it was a bit long, but I wanted to just put all of my, like, it was a special day and it's a special time, and I want to just look back at this and remember. Like, I've looked back at some of the older ones from even like my 6-week update, and I just love that I can watch those and that she can watch those in time. So yeah, I hope you like this. Subscribe if you haven't already. That I'm going to be doing lots of like less waste living, vegan living, being a mum and being a vegan, which I'm not fully there, by the way, yet. So when I talk about having cheese and stuff still, I'm not fully vegan at the moment, but I'm heading that way, and stuff. So yeah, healthy living, hopefully vegan living, being a mum, being vegan, bringing up my children more vegan, less waste, all those sorts of things, living a good, happy, cheap life, living on a budget. So if that is anything that appeals to you, we're going to be doing some vlogging when the baby's born, because I just want to remember some special moments. So if any of that appeals to you, then subscribe. Leave me a comment down below. I love hearing from you guys always. And give this a big thumbs up, and I'll speak to you in my next video. Bye.